Hey everyone, I'm Armory Gaming, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Legends. Welcome to a monster analysis on Rekka, the newest and latest monster from the Legends Pass. Rekka used to be a flag bearer in General Darmod's Fire Army, but when Lucifer started her rebellion, he chose to fight on her side against the General. He thought that once she had won, she would lead the Fire Army into epic battles and make history. However, after some time, Rekka realized that all Darmod and Lucifer did was fight each other, so he abandoned the Fire Army and started a new life. When Warmaster Barbell heard that one of the most active soldiers in the Fire Army has been wise enough to walk away from the useless fight for power, he recognized it as an act of bravery and armed Rekka with an unstoppable weapon, the Fire Nunchukka. Now Rekka is fully ready to fight a battle worth fighting. And so here we have the newest and latest Fire Legendary monster. Once again, this monster is available from the Legends Pass, and so this is actually my very first time seeing anything about this monster, so let's jump right into the analysis. This monster has a life stat of 30,461. In the fire category, it's not even that high, I would say. There are plenty of fire monsters with a life over 35k. There's plenty of them with over 40k, 45k life, so not the highest life stat. His power 3608 is a little impressive, but also there are like 8 fire monsters that have a higher power stat. Nonetheless, still pretty powerful. And in terms of his speed stat, he's pretty fast, not the fastest in the fire category. However, that doesn't matter because I believe this monster is an attacker. He is as fast as Sunblast. We all know Sunblast from the team race, right? The fast denier. So he is pretty fast, especially for an attacker, I guess I would say. In terms of his trait, this is interesting. He has Hardened Unranked, at rank 1 Tough, at rank 3 Bulwark, and a Status Caster Self Damage Boost. I believe that Self Damage Boost is going to be super powerful, given this monster's power. Like, it really helps him out. What I'm curious about is the trait. I'm assuming it's just evolving, right? From Hardened to Tough to Bulwark. If he was somehow able to keep the Hardened, the Tough, and the Bulwark and out stacked, that would be incredible, and that would be like, wow, this monster is almost impossible to deny, but I don't believe that to be the case. Otherwise, that would be really good. So right now, yeah, it just evolves from Hardened to Tough to Bulwark, and don't get me wrong, Bulwark is pretty good, especially with that self-damage boost. For relics, he can hold the Mask Relic and the Essence, so Revival Essence, if he happens to die, he can resurrect. The mask, well, you have access to Jastar's mask, Halney's mask. It really depends on what you have. So you can either give armor for your team, you can drain stamina. I guess you can do Bulwark's mask if you want to make him even Bulwark. Is that it? No. Balthazar's mask if you want to give him even more power. That is something you can do. So yeah, you have some options there. Let's see. In terms of books, he's an Adventure, Good Legions, and Family book. And I'm glancing at the damage output. I don't see that much high damage. I see 30, 60, 20. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. So let's jump into the skills. For tier 1, we have applies burn to all enemies. That's it. So we have a 0 cooldown skill, so spammable, 22 stamina cost, and all you do is burn all the enemy monsters. Gotta say, not the biggest fan of that. I imagine we'll see an AoE version later on. We have, oh, here's a nice skill. Oh. Deals low special damage to an enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself. 25 damage, 0 cooldown, 19 stamina cost. This skill is spammable. You can literally use this as many times as you want. Wow. So monsters have 140 stamina. I can just imagine partnering this monster up with like a Warmaster Thalassa, and then you have even more stamina, right? For like the first 3 turns, because your stamina is maxed. But let's just go back to... And then you can also utilize mutant runes on this monster. If you've ever, for any reason, created strength mutant runes, strength stamina, you're gonna have more stamina to do skills like this. So this skill is actually quite good. So 19 again. So let's say 20. So you can dish out this attack about 7 times. 7 times 25. What is that? 175. This monster can pack a punch. Wow, because you can spam this over and over. Now, obviously, you have to watch out for anticipation monsters, right? Those will still kill you. Marquis being a fire monster, that's a common one you can run into. But if there's no anticipation monster, the other thing you have to watch out for, unfortunately, is stamina draining relics, right? There are so many relics that can drain your stamina, and it's not like you can hold up Cane of Atlantis or anything to recover your stamina, right? I'm trying to think of the masks. There's a mask, the Fury mask, I guess. So yeah, this monster can actually be one that utilizes the Fury mask. The Fury mask, if you attack a monster and they have, I think it's above 50% HP, you recover stamina. So that's something you can actually utilize to keep dishing out more attacks. But if you're in a situation where the enemy doesn't have some sort of stamina draining relic, or you counter with the Fury mask, or yeah, there's no anticipation. Like, you can literally pack a punch over and over and over again. So I'm a fan of this skill a lot. Moving on, we have a skill that applies Ignite to an enemy. Not a fan of that whatsoever. So from tier 1, your extra turn spammable skill, that's pretty good. Especially because of the low stamina cost. It's also special based. So if you fight another fire monster, you're fine. This monster, I would say, it's just synergized in a way where you can trade disable an anticipation monster. Yeah, I like that a lot. Tier 2 skills, we have deals moderate fire damage to enemies. There's that AoE burn. 2 turn cooldown, 30 damage. We have another skill that gives double damage and evasion to itself. 3 turn cooldown. Ooh, that's pretty high just for the double damage evasion. 20 stamina cost. I wish this skill would have done more. It feels kind of lackluster like what we've seen in the past. But it is what it is. So it's setup skill. Oh, here's our strong skill. Deals heavy fire damage to one enemy. Applies ignite to one enemy. 60 damage, 1 turn cooldown. I like this skill. I always like when a monster has a skill like this. Like a powerful skill with a 1 turn cooldown. Because, like, assuming this monster was rank 3 and you have yourself damage boost, if you do this skill, you're dishing out 90 damage. You're igniting, right? But before the skill, you would realistically do your tier 1 skill. So dish out 25 special base damage with a damage boost. Then you dish out your 60 fire base damage. Apply ignition if the monster's still alive. And then on your next turn, you can do the extra turn again. And once again, do your 60 damage skill. So I like this low cooldown and spammable stuff. And I'm so definitely a big fan of this. I would definitely run tier 1 and tier 2 skills I talked about more in depth. But let's move on to tier 3 skills. We have a skill that deals low fire damage to an enemy, deals low fire damage to enemies, gives 1 extra turn to itself. Oh, very nice. So another extra turn skill. And let me see. So 2 turn cooldown. So easy rotation. I mean, just having a spammable skill. This is like Voltaik, right? And electrodynamic assaults. Just being able to cycle back and forth. Essentially, this skill deals 40 damage to a single enemy monster, and then residual damage. It's like a static shocks. This, from what I can see, is the Voltaik of fire monsters, right? That's essentially what it is. Deals low fire damage to an enemy, does it again, and then an extra turn to itself. It's also good because you actually can battle, like extra turn, dodge area monsters, right? Because you have these single target attacks. 31 stamina cost, yeah, and then compared to Voltaik, a lot less stamina, for sure. And wow, and then being able to revive, let's see. Applies a random hater skill to itself, gives 1 extra turn to itself. 3 turn cooldown, 23 stamina. That is a hefty cooldown price. However, you are giving yourself a hater, and if you have the right hater landing, you could potentially give yourself a huge damage boost. Keep in mind, the hater is triple damage. So imagine a scenario where you face a done raw, you give yourself dark hater, and then you do like Enbu against Dun Raw. That Dun Raw is going to take low fire damage 4 times. That initial attack, and then the AoE, and then each is 20. So that would be 20 times 4, 80. And then times 3, 240 damage just from using an Enbu and tension if you land the Dark Hater. So, I mean, that's more luck based, but it's just kind of cool what you could potentially do, right? I'm not saying that's always going to work, but, you know, it's just there if you want to try giving yourself a buff. Sometimes I think it might be more useful just to do the raw damage instead of go for the gamble. But, you know, at a 23 stamina cost, you're not risking too much. Let's keep going. Deals moderate fire damage to an enemy, applies ignite to an enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself. So we have a little stronger attack. 40 damage, 2 turn cooldown, 27 stamina cost. You apply ignite. Overall, yeah, he's just the Voltaik. He's the Voltaik of fire monsters. Can't really hate him. The bad thing about all extra turn monsters is we live in an era where just about all the new monsters have anticipation. They can counter extra turn monsters, right? So that's unfortunate. It's not like he has a trade disable skill, because that would be broken. If this monster could trade disable, that'd be pretty broken. And again, one of your biggest enemies is not even monsters. It's relics. The fact that you can attack a monster and they have an exhausting mask and all your stamina's gone with no real way to recover. Right, Fury Mask being really the only way to recover stamina on this monster. There's no essence, to the best of my knowledge, that can recover your stamina like right away. So it's really just that Fury Mask. But in a situation where you can use this monster and there's no anticipation you have to worry about, or you can counter the anticipation, or even a stamina draining relic, you know it's not going to be too harmful. This monster's going to kick butt for sure. Right, just the fact that you can spam that tier 1 skill over and over and over again. The fact that you can cycle between that skill and use your 40 damage ignition skill at one point. Maybe end off with that 60 damage one turn cooldown. But yeah, to me this just screams Voltaik, but fire based, adding the ignition, lot cheaper stamina cost. Being able to revive the essence relic again, that's a pretty cool thing. Let's talk about his ultimate. Applies a random hater skill to itself, applies a random hater skill to itself, applies a random hater skill to itself. 3 random hater gives 1 extra turn to itself. Nice. So a unique setup skill where you're going to give yourself 3 random haters. Keep in mind you could end up with 1 random hater if all 3 were the same, or 2 random haters. But yeah, potentially 3 random haters. I like it. I like it. I actually really do. I'm assuming all of these haters are going to be elemental based. It's not going to be like a family book hater. I don't even know that that's a thing. But yeah, it's all going to be elemental based. Overall, it's weird. It's like, I don't really like the monster because I don't think he can really work that well in the meta, just like how you never ever use Voltaik anymore. I imagine it's the same with this monster. If he had a better trait, maybe like, I don't know, if he had a extra turn skill that gives him evasion to counter anticipation, that would have been nice. But at the same time, he's not a bad monster, right? Especially if you're a newer player and you're not really facing a lot of these new meta monsters. Like up to Legendary 4 League, you can still use Voltaik, no problem. You don't face anticipation a lot. So for newer players getting this monster, I think you're going to have a blast with them. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. I think he kind of plays on that random hater thing that kind of Zenfira plays with. So overall, he's fun. I think he's going to be, he's a cool monster. I like it overall. Fantastic monster design. Pretty great stats all across the board, right? Considering that you can hold the essence and the mask. But yeah, it's a weird feeling where it's like, I like him, but it's also like, will I ever really use him? I don't know. Let's read this. Rekka is a fire attacker with a damage boost and extra turns, which he can loop until he runs out of stamina. He can apply ignition and burn to enemies, and apply a random elemental hater to himself. Rekka has an evolving trait. Hardened at rank 0, becomes tough at rank 1. At rank 3, becomes Borok and status caster damage boost for himself. It would have been nice if that damage boost was permanent. If he could keep that damage boost, that would make him even more stronger, because then, you know, his attacks would be stronger, but I guess that might be too powerful. But yeah, overall, this is my analysis on Rekka. Now let me know in the comments below, what do you think? The skill set, I think it's pretty easy what you're going to be running, but I'm more curious to know, what do you guys think about this monster, especially in the world of Monster Legends? With that being said, I'm Armor Gaming. Thank you all for watching. I will catch you all next time.